What's up, everybody? It's your boy Detail Daddy. We're back at it again. Today, this is going to be a two-part video. Today, we're going to do a wash and decontamination of this 2008 Audi TT. And it has some rock chips in the front, so we're going to be fixing some of the rock chips up, and we're going to let that sit on there for like about a week or so. That way it can fully cure, because I don't want to polish on it and pull off all that stuff. So we're going to get the decontamination done today. That way it'll be like real quick next week. But we're going to clean up his headlights too while he's here, so we will have a little bit of that action. I might do a test spot of the new polish I just got in. Let me go grab it. A test of the new Optimum Hyper Polish. Came highly recommended from a buddy, and so I really want to test it out. But we'll see. But we're definitely going to do the wash, decontamination of the TT, and then we're going to do fix all the spots on there with the paint pen. And then we're definitely going to fix up those headlights because they are looking a little hazy. We're gonna wet sand them. I'll take you guys through the process. This is Jake. Not from State Farm. He is wearing khakis though, oddly enough. But this is his TT, and so he's gonna be hanging out, and he's gonna be learning a couple things. I am gonna charge him extra because it is a lesson. But like I said, it's going to be a two-part video, so we're going to get started on this, and we'll get it finished up next week. So we didn't do the other side of the wheels, but so we just pressure washed these and threw our wheel cleaner on there. About to hit it with our barrel brush, get all nasty as it flings all over us. But you can tell they look better than these here wheels. I mean, you can... Hopefully you can see back in there and see how dirty the barrel is. But we hit this side with the wheel cleaner, and then we threw some Iron X on there. And you can see just from that sitting in there how much cleaner the barrel is. It ate all that McNasty out of there. I ain't gonna do everything. Why do you think I pay you, ass? Damn. Told you can't find good help around here. That's why I have him. But yeah, we're gonna be finishing up the wheels here, and then we're gonna get on to washing it. We're going to be using that X foam that we used last time from Stay Fresh. Get it nice and thick, 3 C's thick AF with that foam, and then get all the nasty pollen and everything from our glorious Georgia spring off of there, and get moving on to the rest. So we're going to finish these wheels up, and then I'll show you guys the wash process. We just used our favorite product that smells fantastic, not really, on our wheels here. I just want to show you guys a little bit of that action. So we just got it sprayed on there, so it's not really bleeding all that much yet. I mean, you can see it starting down here, but or you can see the barrel right now, but you're going to see after we pressure wash it off, it's going to be a hell of a lot cleaner. Yeah, I just used this on my wheels 2 days ago on Thursday. Did a full wash in there on them. I mean, with how quickly my wheels accrue brake dust, they don't look as clean as they were before. You can see a little bit on there, but it really broke a lot of that good stuff down, nice and tasty. So we let it sit on there for like 2 minutes or so, let it work its magic. Yeah, you can see it's really turning dark purple now, really bleeding off of there. It's gonna be blowing out the backside. That doesn't sound really good. I don't know, that's the best way I can describe it. Blow it out your ass! Alright, get in there. Get in there! You can see the barrel is looking a lot cleaner. Broke a lot of that stuff down back there. So we are going to get everything put away here from the wheels, and then we're going to get started on washing it. So we just finished doing the wash. You can see it's still a little moist. We are going to be hitting it with the Iron X to break up most of that decontamination, and then we're going to pull it here into the garage and hit it with the clay bar, and pull the rest of the contamination out. But we're going to suffer through the smell of this. As Jake pointed out, it more accurately represented
Burnt hair.
Burnt hair. And now that he mentioned that, it's 100% what it smells like, and it's fucking terrible. So we're going to spray it on, and then I'll show you guys the bleeding effect. So it's been sitting on here for probably about like a minute and a half or so now. Again, hopefully you can see it. There's some dark spots starting to form. You can see it kind of running a little bit right there. So that's how you know it's working. It should be dripping off. Yeah, here it is. It's dripping off right there. So we're gonna be yeah, you can see it's starting to streak a little bit, but we're gonna let it sit on there for about another 30 seconds to a minute or so, and then we're gonna go ahead and rinse it all off and then dry it off. Gotta go grab my waffle weaves, and then we're gonna pull it in and clay bar it before we get started on all the fun stuff. So we just finished drying the car off with our waffle weaves, and you can see it's looking pretty fucking good right now. You can see right in here, these are like some of the chips that we're gonna be fixing. And then we're gonna let that sit on there and kind of cure for like a week or so. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to hit it with a polisher and then bring all that stuff up. But so we're gonna hit those spots, and then we are gonna find, I don't know if it'll be on the hood or if it'll be somewhere else on the car, but we are definitely going to be testing out this polish. I'm super excited about it. I've been hearing good things about it, and then I saw like a video or two from the company about it, and it looked really fucking good. So it's gonna be a one-step paint correction, and it's out of order right now, but I'm going to be ordering their compound too. That way I can do a little bit worse condition paint and do that compound before we polish it. That way we have the two-step process in there. But I mean, for being 10-year-old paint, I know it's kind of hard to see in the sun. I mean, obviously there's swirls in there, but for being 10 years old, the paint is in really good condition. You can see it's bright. So, I mean, it's in good condition. We're definitely going to brighten it up, though. So I can't wait to see what it looks like afterwards. But we're going to get it pulled into the garage here. We're going to clean up some of our wash stuff, and then we're going to get started here on the clay bar. And we're going to get that paint all smoothed up and buttery, because that's the fun part, right? So we are going to get cleaned up and then pull it on in here. We are in here. We have our clay mitt. We have our lube. Always stay lubed. You don't want to go in dry. So, give a little bit of a comparison. We're going to make in here that nice, fine, squeaky noise that everybody loves to hear on paint. So we're going to lube up first. Then we're going to hit the surface. We don't want to mar the paint. A little bit at a time here. You can see it starts to like over here. I haven't hit yet. You can see it kind of drags a little bit, but I can feel as it gets a lot easier to go. So this stuff, as I've talked about before, it's safe for paint. So I mean, you don't have to clean it off afterwards or anything like that. You just wipe it clean. So again, for reference, have not hit that. Smooth surface. So we are going to finish up the rest of the car and pull the rest of the contamination out, and then move on to fixing the chips and get that set up. We'll show a little bit of that process, and then like I said, we're going to test out the polish, and then we are going to hit these headlights. We have our sandpaper, so we're going to be wet sanding them and then hitting it with a polish, and then we're going to seal them up afterwards. So But first, we're gonna get the paint taken care of, and then we'll move on to the rest. Alright, so we just finished claying the car. The paint is a lot smoother now. It's a little bit brighter. That's probably just because of the spray detailer on there. But so now we're gonna throw a little bit of surface prep on here. That way we don't have any wax interfering with these spots. And then we're gonna hit it with the paint pens. We'll show you guys that process. You guys can see a couple spots here. And then there's like one or two on the back quarter panel over there. So we're gonna get those done, and then yes. Yeah. So as you guys can see here, I mean there were you can't see them now because the paint. I mean you can see here. I mean it has a flake in there. It's color matched by VIN. I mean you can barely see the indentations of it. I mean, but we're gonna add layers to it. So yeah, we hit it with our X-Pel to clean the surface off, and then we're gonna apply the paint pen. We're gonna hit it with our blow dryer, kind of help the drying process up, and then we're gonna add a couple layers to it. And then after that, we are going to hit it with the clear coat pen. And then we'll show you guys some results. I mean, from a distance from here, I mean, honestly, unless you're up on it, you really can't see. You can't see them anymore. In the right light, you can see the big one. You can see the indentation in there, but I mean, that's a big chip. But like I said, we're gonna build it up, and hopefully we can't see them anymore. It's gonna look good. We filled in like all the spots. I mean, you can see that some of them kind of sit deep. But this one is like raised up a little bit here on the edges. So we have a compound here, and we're just gonna put it on by hand, and we're gonna see if we can't level it out. Just hand buff it. Level it down with the rest of the paint. Yeah, I think the edges are pretty flush. What we're gonna do is we're gonna hit the couple other high spots that we have on here, and just level them out with the rest of the paint. That way, when we go through later on, they're all flush, and we don't want to have uneven spots in our paint. So we're going to hit the rest of the spots, and then we'll show you guys the results from that. And then right after that, we are going to do the polish, and then we'll do the headlights last. So we'll show you guys after we finish here. So while we wait for the clear coat paint pen to dry on those couple paint chips, we are going to do a little bit of a test of this new Optimum Hyper Polish. So I did this little area. We didn't use a paint pen anywhere in this area, so we're not like running the risk of taking anything off. So I divided it into two parts. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna polish this side, and then I'll just use this side as reference. So hopefully you can see at the angle. I'll kind of like slowly move it, see if you can see the swirls and everything in here. So this is a one-step polish, which means it's just a polish, it's not a compound. It should be kind of like one of those one and done type things, but seeing and hearing about the product, you know, it should have like great results. We should mitigate almost everything in here, and it should have like a really good shine afterwards. So let me get my polisher set up, and then I'll show you guys me polishing it, and then I'll show you guys the results. So we have our polish here. The good thing about this polish, which makes it different from everything else, is that it is in spray form. Patented.
You know what he means.
Yeah. Solution. I'm gonna edit all that shit out anyway. So it's patented, and they're the only ones that have it. So the cool thing about it is this is their waffle weave as well, their pad. So the cool thing is the backing on it, it disperses heat. That way it doesn't overheat. It will let it actually escape, unlike most other pads. But the cool thing is, I mean, usually, you know, you kind of put a couple globs on your pad and then you use that to dictate. Because this is a spray, they made it so it's literally one spray per section. So that way there's no discrepancies of like, oh, well, I put this much of a dot on there, you know, is that big of enough of a dot or whatever. So this is really easy, you know, spray. So you got to spray on there. You don't have to use a ton. And you don't, because the whole pad is now lubricated, you don't need to go through and like blot it around or anything like that. So you turn it on here. So we got that nice haze on there. This is what we want to see. And we gotta grab a microfiber. So just so you guys see, we're gonna buff it off, hand buff it off. Spraying a little bit more here on the surface, and we're gonna go back through here. We're going to take our microfiber and buff it off. Getting a new cloth. Alright. Definitely looks a lot better now. So I guess maybe I just need to do more than one pass on it. Hopefully you can. But for now, Optimum, you're safe, and I'm not gonna chuck this shit out into the fucking road. So you are safe. It looks good. It looks a hell of a lot better. The surface is very smooth. You know, come over here and you want to feel it. Feel the difference.
Yes.
So I am happy with that. Maybe just what the deal is I need to practice a little bit more with it. Like I said, it is my first time using it. But you're off the hook. You're off the hook for now. I will drop a link to it if you guys want to look into buying some for yourself. Like I said, it's super user friendly. We will be finishing the rest of the car next week. So we are going to finish buffing the clear coat now that it's started to finish up here. So we're gonna buff this down and level it out, and then I will go back over and show you guys the final product on that. I will say that, you know, it looks a lot better than when we started. Obviously, you can't see the rock chips anymore. And, you know, going back around to actually put an additional coat on it. It was hard to actually find them because it blended in so well. So we're going to finish up here and show you guys the results. He's useless. I'm over here and I'm like asking for the camera because I want him to hold it so that I can demonstrate how to properly wet sand and fix headlights. And he's like handing me all kinds of random shit. Then he hands me the camera and then he hands me my phone. Like, hold the damn thing. Alright, so we're going to soak our sandpaper. Moist. Make sure it's nice and wet. So the fundamentals of wet sanding are sandpaper and wet, aka water. I know some people will add, I've seen a couple of videos of people adding like car soap and stuff to help lubricate, but I mean, it's water. I mean, it's wet sanding. So basically what we're gonna do is, this is a I think it's 1500 grit sandpaper. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure, we're gonna go through and we're gonna go back and forth motions. We're gonna go lengthwise along the headlight and then up and down, and then we're gonna finish off by going lengthwise again. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna wipe that clean, and then we're gonna use Expel again to like make sure that we get all of that plastic and stuff that's on there off. And then we are going to repeat with a finishing sandpaper, which is a higher grit. It's about 2500, so that's going to smooth it out. So what you're going to see is like, you're going to see the headlight is going to get wet and it's going to look clean, right? So as soon as I finish it, it's going to look like, wow, those are so clear, but then it's going to haze back over it, and that's completely normal. So we're going to hit it with this lower grit, which is more abrasive, to take more of that off. And then we're going to follow up with the finer one to like polish it down. And then after that, I am going to hit it with our orbital polisher, and I'm gonna just do a quick buff on it, and then we're going to finish it off with some sealant. That way, you know, that fresh new plastic being beat on by the elements and UV, so it'll keep this from happening again. So we are going to start the process off. I'm going to add more water here. So we're going to take it, we're going to wipe it off. You can see that's all like that initial plastic, like that top coat that we just took off. So you see it's super hazy right now, right? But if you go back over it, you can feel it feels a lot smoother. So now we are going to finish wiping this off. We're going to get our X-Pill over here. Clean the surface off. Then we are going to grab our higher grit sandpaper over here. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and soak it again. It's nice and wet. So we're going to hit it here, again, clean that surface off. We are going to grab our orbital polisher and get that set up, and then we're going to hit this, polish it, and then like I said, right after that we are going to hit it with the sealant, and you're going to see this surface is going to look not brand new, but it's going to look a hell of a lot better. So this is Jet Seal from Chemical Guys. I used to use this stuff all the time. It's really good. It's a great sealant. Alright, so now we have the Jet Seal on here. We're going to let this sit on here for probably about 15 or 20 minutes. During that time, we are going to do the other side, and then I'm going to come back over and we're going to buff it off with a microfiber, and we'll show you guys the results. So I'm not going to lie, this is my first time doing headlights. And with the work light that we had on over there, because of the tint of it, it's kind of like yellowish orange. Like looking at it, it looked like I didn't do shit to it, and I was kind of getting concerned. It kind of looked pretty ass. And but we turned it off, and we just took the jet seal off, and you can tell they are clear and not yellowed anymore, not super hazy. They're not perfect. There's a couple spots like up in here. This one we still have the jet seal on, so I'll have to buff that off. But I said not perfect, but what do you think?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
At least added some clarity back to it, and you know it's not gonna hinder the being able to see at night now. Because I mean that's a huge thing. It's a safety thing. Not only is it an aesthetic thing. I know it bothers a lot of people, but it's definitely a safety thing too, because it will inhibit your headlights and like how far you can see and everything. So if yours are hazy and you don't feel comfortable doing it yourself, and you don't want to spend, because how much did you say these are new? Or not even new, they're refurbished.
$750 for an Audi?
$750 per. So if you don't want to go and drop, $1,600 on new headlights, there are plenty of people who can restore them if you don't feel comfortable. Maybe cost you a couple $100. And if people have been doing it long enough, obviously I haven't been doing it long enough, they'll come out looking brand new. And you can put ceramic coating on there to elongate that protection. We did sealant. A lot of people just do sealant. You can do, you can clear coat. There's like plastic clear coat you can buy. I've seen people do. I don't know. I've heard mixed results about that, so that's why I don't really want to do that. If I did, I'd probably go to like Pull Apart and then grab something and test it out on one of those or something. But obviously I need a little bit more practice with this. Probably end up going, actually I'll probably make that into a video. I'll probably go and drive out to Josh's shop and snatch my Supra headlights, because those are super hazy. So maybe I'll snatch those out and bring them home, and I'll make a video on restoring those. That way I don't jack up somebody else's headlights. It'll be my own. Because Supra parts are, super cheap. And next video, though, will be us finishing the TT. I think you can't even really tell unless you're up on it with a, specific light. I can see this spot. That actually even...
That's my bubble, huh?
It leveled out pretty decently. I mean, you can barely feel it, but I know you can see earlier in the video, you can definitely see all the spots. Not exactly bare metal, but down to that primer stage. So it looks a hell of a lot better now, honestly. So now we're gonna let that cure for a little while, and then next week we're gonna give this thing the whole shebang, polish it up, and then we're gonna hit it with the ceramic wax. We'll be good to go. I'm excited, because I like this paint, and I think it's really gonna get brightened up, and it's gonna look pretty bomb. Yeah, now that we're out in the sun, that spot definitely looks, hopefully the camera can pick it up, but this spot up here that we hit looks a lot better now that I'm looking at it. Not bad for just a wash and clay and decontamination on this thing, man. So we're gonna finish getting this thing like real bright. So, two-part video, so you guys will see it next week, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks for spending time with us.
No problem.
Thanks, Midget, for assisting, and make sure to subscribe. Catch you guys later.